Today we're going to look at the shoulder. Obviously the shoulder is a joint that we treat a lot in the tennis world because the speed of serve and the power that actually goes through the shoulder. The shoulder joint is quite an interesting joint because it's so unstable, and if you think about the ball and socket joint of the hip, it's that ain't going anywhere ball and socket joint. It's really solid, whereas the shoulder is a very shallow cut and ball. So the ball can slide, it can roll, it can glide. Consequently, the soft tissues have to hold it in place. And if the soft tissues become a bit overstrained, then we have to give them a little bit of support, and that's where the kinesio tape and stuff like that can be useful. So kinesio tape is more of a proprioceptive tape, so it gives a little bit of stability without being rigid stability, which we'll use other tapes for. And we can use kinesio tape to be either specific to one area or global around the whole of the shoulder. The rotator cuff is a group of muscles that go around the shoulder, and we tend to use this Y-shaped tape where we fix in one position and then stretch along the anatomical line of the muscle. So here, for example, is the infraspinator, here will be the supraspinator, and then around the front here, we can use the same thing for the biceps across the tape. So because the player sweats so much, we tend to use an addition of a tape spray, and we put that on first before we apply the kinesiology tape. So I'm just going to do that for you now. We need a good strong anchor. I've already cut the tape into this Y formation, and we're going to put it along the anatomical line of the muscle, get some 20% stretch. And we could do this in various tensions, so put it on tension or off tension, depending on where we use the arm. So again, we're going to use tape to actually assist the posture. So this is not a pathological tape. Like this one, it'd be more to just assist the position. Spray the area so we get a good stick to last the 3 sets. We apply the tape to the glued anterior aspect of the shoulder. And then rather than just a 20% pull on the tape, this time we're going to pull with 50% on the tape. Down the medial side of the scapula here. So when they serve, we're going to get a bit of a pulling from that side, keeping the shoulder back. And just for further support, we're going to put a tape running from the side, around and across. No tension on the anchor side. Tension across towards the spine. So here we have a postural tape, bringing the shoulder back, giving more space to the ball and socket joint with the infraspinatus tape below. The blue tape here is purely postural tape, so it's not being very specific, it's just holding the ball further back in the socket. Then hopefully it'll take the pressure off whatever tendon is actually maybe irritated or inflamed. And also with rehabilitation, it kind of just gives a postural reminder where we go. So put everything in good position and then train for it. Then in the playing setting, the body will adapt. Kinesiology tape is definitely the best thing for them to play with. One, it's comfortable. Something, as I said, more rigid would definitely give more support, but not necessarily ideal for play. So we tend to use this as people recover from injury rather than an early stage of injury. It's designed that it stretches in the same way as the skin stretches, so it's very superficial. If we have something a little bit more unstable, we may not be advising them to be playing, but we would actually use some other tape. So I suggest we use a combination of hard rigid tape or the elastic adhesive bandage from Nitto here that we can actually then wrap around the shoulder to give some stability. Generally for play, I would always use the kinesiology tape.